Yo, what's up, guys? Andre here, and welcome to the second part of, or sorry, not actually second part. This is actually the first, actually. All right, so the rest of my dailies were actually when I think three or four with Shadow. Yeah, it was like when through Shadow, and I played out a bunch of Shadow games just because, well, Shadow's a class that I actually kind of enjoy. Again, I mentioned this in a previous video, but it reminds me of this deck called Mermails at the moment, where where you just get the flood every single turn, and you make a lot of very aggressive plays, and you kind of give your opponent the question, okay, well, what exactly are you doing this turn, and how exactly are you going to answer this board? Because if you don't answer this board, and I play Ektar, well, you just kind of die, friend. So let me go and show you guys the deck list. I'm not gonna talk about the deck that much just because this is a deck that got to Grandmaster. Basically, the only thing that I guess I need to talk about is Cowie. All right, so right now, if you're playing a deck that wins, you have to have an answer to Ektar of some sort, or if you don't have an answer to sorry, not Ektar, you have to have an answer to Spawn of the Abyss, and if you don't have an answer to Spawn of the Abyss, you have to be a damn good deck then. And so as a result, you can kind of see that the deck is more or less used is that the deck can more or less answer big creatures just because you have a lot of destruction effects. Cowie blows up stuff, Thane blows up stuff, sort of. Lurching Corpse blows up stuff, Necro Assassin blows up stuff. And then you also have Ektar as well for a pseudo win condition. Alright, so just gonna go and show you guys the games. Each of these games were pretty interesting, especially the first two versus Dragon, because I know some people have difficulty dealing with Dragon as Shadow. However, it's very doable, and you have to realize slash understand what exactly it is that you're going to be doing when you play those games. So I want to say that it's this game. I'm like 90% sure that this is Shadow game. If it's not, I'll just go ahead and skip it. But yeah, I do like Shadow and its current iteration, especially the mid range version. I also like Nethys Shadow as well. However, right now I'm I was doing my dailies, and I just wanted to get them done as quickly as possible. So I played this deck. Some versus Dragon. I keep the Lurching Corpse as a result, just because there are very few creatures that Dragon will play. That's not actually a good target for me to blow up. Alright. So my hand is really bad because I'm not gonna be able to apply any pressure. I'm gonna have to play a slow game, but that's fine because this deck can go both fast and it can go slow. I'm not gonna develop anything just because I want each thing I develop to get value. And Dragon goes so slow that I'm allowed to do this because he's gonna feel obligated to want to ramp and stuff like that, and I can punish that. See, he plays Furfur here. I don't give a fuck about that Furfur. It's whatever. And here, I just go Demon Eater, and then I go Lyrial. There is merit to me going second Demon Eater. However, I choose not to. And here, I go ahead and I pre-evo this Lich. The reason why I pre-evo this Lich, and specifically this Lich, is because yes, if he has something like Sybil or Sawhawk, that'll be in a bad spot. However, if he has, say, Conflagration, then this plays around that perfectly because he suddenly can't do it because I'll also have a 6/6 on the it'll be a 6/2 on the board, and this is nice because I just need to buy time. I can outscale him pretty easily as long as I buy the time. So here he plays Scyther, and I basically waste my Evo. That's fine. I don't care about that. Here, he plays that Goblin Mage. I was really confused about this and kind of scared because I'm assuming that because I'm assuming that he's actually OTK dragon, which is a bit annoying for me. However, I go Lurching Corpse and I go Demon Eater. I need to draw cards. I know you might be saying, Dan's game, why do you need to draw cards? You have a full hand. Yes, I realize I have a full hand. However, I'm kind of greedy and I want more cards as much as possible. I could have gone. I could have played Death's Breath there. However, I chose not to play the Death's Breath because I wasn't going to get. I was not going to get the full necromancy for it. It was still a good play. It does play in the Breath of the Salamander, but that's fine because even if it does, I can play Thane afterwards. But again, I kind of forgot how many cards were in my hand at the time. So yeah. Anyway, I go ahead and use the Mimi immediately. I use the Mimi just because when my current board dies, I'll be at exactly 9 necromancy, so I can get 3 zombies from Ektar, and that'll be fine for me. However, he passes 2 turns in a row and just concedes. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. He might have been someone that was like at work and got busy. Either way, that's fine. That's a free win for me. We take those. So here's the second game. This game is actually a real game. And by real game, I mean like my opponent didn't just concede or something like that and give me a free win. All right, so I keep the attendant tonight. I kept the attendant just because liches and things like that are very difficult for dragon to deal with. Just because usually any action that dragon takes usually consumes their entire turn for the most part, with the exception of certain things like blazing breath. And in a case of the lich, it's essentially a 5/5. Dragon can't deal 5 damage in two separate instances without an evo. It's very difficult. So I just go ahead and play out the lich. I see a soul squasher. The soul squasher is nice to have just because he has more evos than me, and I'll always have a time to be able to use that and do stuff to him with that. All right, so here I go Necro Assassin. You might be wondering, why the fuck did you go Necro Assassin? That play makes zero sense. I went Necro Assassin because if he plays Sybil here, he can only answer one of my guys. And if he does that, then I can go ahead and I can set myself up to uh, to go attendant plus demon eater, which I do end up doing, and I can go ahead and draw 2 cards. I still have soul squashers, and the soul squasher is nice because you can kind of use that. You can try to hold on to that for the end of the Evo War phase in order to try to get a very good tempo swing where they can't punish you with a return Evo. Here he goes Ayala. He goes Blazing Breath on my dude. That's fine. He's running out of cards. He doesn't have a hand now, and this is fine for me because he also hasn't ramped. So if I want to, I can play Death's Breath here. However, I decide to go ahead and go Lyriel, Evo the Lyriel, and then I'll also go ahead and trade into his Ayala, and on top of that, I'll go ahead and play Demon Eater. The Demon Eater is important here just because I want to be able to keep drawing cards. I've already used the Lurching Corpse, I believe, or something like that. So if he wants to play Israfil here, that's fine. I don't care about that Israfil. It doesn't matter to me. Because here, if I have Ektar, Ektar would be good here. Instead, I develop Cowie. Cowie is also good here because he's going to lose his Israfil for free. He's also out of cards in hand. I have a full hand, and now that my deck is approaching the late game in terms of my overall mana, he's not going to be able to just play Fervors for free anymore. All right, so here I just go Mortal Thane. I want as many shadows as possible, so that way when this Ektar comes out, this Ektar will hit him hard. He plays Zeus here. Again, doesn't matter to me, not in the slightest. He uses the Evo on the Sybil. I would have 100% used that on Ayala, just because you diversify your threats. I already want to kill your Sybil. Like now you're just making now you're just making it more now you're just making it more profitable for me to want to do that. So now I go ahead and play Serb. The Serb will give me enough to kill off his Zeus. Additionally, the additionally I'll go ahead and push 3 damage courtesy of Thane. I'll go ahead and clear everything, and then I'll also put a ward in the way. This is important because now he needs exactly Grimnir plus Oro to kill me. However, he doesn't have those. He can still kill me with Genesis Dragon, but I will never let that happen because I understand what I need to play around. So I go Death Breath to get wards. I blow up one of my wards in order to retain 2 wards and also kill off his Bahamut. This is nice because I have a board now, and I've drawn several cards. If I draw into Oro, no, sorry, not Oro, my bad. I'm sorry about that. If I draw into if I draw into if I draw into Ektar, he's in a bad spot. Just because he's already used the Bahamut once, and I can set it up in a way that prevents him from using any more Bahamuts. Just because if I play out the Lurching Corpse, then whatever he plays will die. And here he gives me his last Evo, so now Zeus no longer kills me. At my current HP, Zeus no longer kills me, and this is fine. This is good for me. So here, I go Attendant. I go ahead and use Soul Squasher to flat out the board. And here, I go ahead and play out everything because again, because I've used most of my activators, I need to discourage a top deck Bahamut from killing me. He's gonna clear part of my board off anyway, and so I'll leave me space for Ektar if I have it. I play out the Ektar here just because I can't actually clear off his board if I don't, and I go ahead and I push a lot of damage. I go ahead and I push 9 damage. My board is also insanely sticky, like insanely sticky. And here I think I misplayed. Yeah, I needed to play out the Bone Chimera possibly. Just because that way what I can do is I can go Ektar trade and then go or no. Will Ektar trade do that? No, it won't. I lied. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, because at the current particular point in time, I I could if he played Bahamut, I would get board locked, and I would have to trade and then play Ektar if I draw into it. Again, I've seen a ton of cards more than him at least. All right, yeah, so some like 3 cards ahead of him, and yeah, not playing out the Chimera was a misplay. I should have just played out the Chimera because again, as you'll see in a second, not playing the Chimera is is going to cost me here because I do draw into my next Ektar. Or I lied. It wasn't that. It was this turn. It was this turn. Not playing the Lurching Corpse here. Fuck me. Not even not even because of the word or anything like that. It just fucked me in the sense that I needed. Sorry, it fucked me in the sense that if he plays Oro, then I suddenly won't have lethal. But if he plays like Bahamut or something like that, then I suddenly do. Like I was already in the driver's seat just because he needed 2 cards to kill me for the longest time, and he wasn't gonna be able to draw into those 2 cards, but before I could draw into my Ektars and whatnot. But yeah, so here this turn I have lethal. I just go ahead and trade, play Ektar. Ektar trades into the next ward, or sorry, it trades into the ward, and I go ahead and push 12. But yeah, really good game. My opponent did not get to draw at all just because he played a very reactive style deck, and it's all right to play reactive style dragon. However, you have to realize that if you don't get a chance to play Fervor, then you're gonna bleed dry, especially versus this current iteration of Shadow, because this iteration of Shadow draws a billion cards and just like never runs out of steam, provided you space out your cards correctly. This game is gonna be versus Swordcraft. Special shout outs to all my sword mains, to all my sword main friends here, because this was actually sorry, not castle. This was actually cannon sword. Special shout outs to my boy Fanny, because we were actually talking the other day about animated sword legendaries. I actually don't have a single animated sword legendary yet. The sword is actually the only class where that's actually not the case, or where that's actually the case. Anyway, I keep the Lurching Corpse. I keep the Lurching Corpse just because I can develop that on 3 if I don't draw a good 3-drop, and then a top deck Necro Assassin will break up his board enough for me. I'm also going second, so that's good. So yeah, so there. I only want to play out this Lurching Corpse if there's already something established on his board. The reason why is because I don't want a 1-for-1 with a removal spell. I want a 1-for-1 with a creature. Just because all of my creatures in this deck, they don't actually mean anything. What I mean by they don't mean anything is that I don't care if you blow them up by spells, but I do care if I can. But I do care as to whether or not I can go 1-for-1. I can go 1-for-1 with your creatures, or even get a +1. Like if I can develop Lurching Corpse and then play Necro Assassin and then blow up 2 things and then also go ahead and Evo on top of that, that's a pretty strong tempo swing, and that's one of the things that I like going for whenever I play this deck. So here, because he played the ward, I go ahead and play out Attendant of Night, and here he needs to have exactly Geno. And the second I said that, I was like, oh my god, I spoke it into life. It's gonna happen now. And then of course he has the Geno to clear. But I did trade my 3-drop for his 4-drop, and he currently doesn't have a board on top of that as well. So what I can do here is, because he still has a ward, I can go ahead and play out my second Attendant Knight. I can go ahead and Evo that into the Grimnir. This is one of the few times where your Attendant of Night is going to be able to actually trade with something, just because people don't play that many wards. So, and then here he plays support can. I'm just like, oh shit, the memes. All right, let's go, boys. And so this turn, I do actually play out my cannon. Because this cannon is automatically going to trigger, he needs to have a removal spell plus a second removal spell before he can play his creature. And removal spells in Sword generally cost 2 mana. So if he does all of that, he won't have the mana to play a good commander. If he doesn't play a good commander, he's not getting rid of this board. He does go Naruto Blast into Cinderella. That's fine by me. I don't care about that. He's gonna give me another Evo. Alright, now here, I just go Zombie Party. It really pained me to have to use that Zombie Party there, but I have enough out. But I have a lot of late game in my hands, so I don't care about that. And so here, he goes Amelia into Gelt. That's really nice. That's really nice. That's really nice low investment play from him. And then I top deck Thane. The Thane here is amazing, because the Thane is already difficult enough for him to deal with. It gives me 3 different targets to go ahead and soak up shots from his support cannon, and then on top of that, the 3 shadows that gives me will go into my Ektar. Ektar is a card that kind of bodies Sword, just because you suddenly take away the one advantage that they have, which is being able to establish board dominance from just having higher individual creatures that also happen to have rush. So whatever he plays next turn, I can deal with it right now. And I'm in a very great spot. He plays Maid Leader. That's fine. I don't care about that. Then he trades into my white, takes 1 damage. Plays Cinderella. Okay. So I did not like his play there. He needed to Evo this Maid Leader if he was going to make that play. because what he could have done there was he could have avoided a 50-50 and just gotten a guaranteed full clear. Yes, he'll give me a last Evo, but that's fine. You have board as sword. What more do you want? Like it'll be difficult for me to deal with all of this all at once, especially because I just showed a zombie party. I have to have Ektar here if he evos, or I'm just in a bad spot. But anyway, he chooses to go for the die roll, fails the die roll, and then has to evo anyway. I'm just like, yeah, could have kept the Unica alive as well. And so I get the White King. The White King is nice just because it's a zero cost. It's a ward. It's a ward in a pinch. But here I just go Ektar, and the Ektar blows him out of the game. Like, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and trade into everything. And because my last 4-2 survived, I can go ahead and soul convert it, and that'll give me enough shadows to play out White King to protect my face. If he wants to play Albert here, that's fine, but the Albert's not going to do anything. It's gonna die on arrival. But here he plays Aurelia. Thankfully, due to the buffs that Aurelia received, Aurelia is actually a lot better now. Just because you can play Aurelia with support cannon, and Aurelia will do its new will do the attack that it gets from all of your opponent's creatures into play. So in this case, it did 4 damage, and it's basically taken out both my Ektar and my White King out of the game. They'll basically die on trades, and I want to try to have those hit face now. So this I go ahead and trade into Aurelia, and then trade into Cinderella as well, and then I go ahead and develop Cowie. Developing the Cowie is nice here because again he's out of cards. He also can't play. He's also locked out of playing Albert. The longer it takes for him to be able to play a real card, the more likely I'm going to win because I have a hand he does not. And so here I go Demon Eater to draw some cards. Then I go Bone Chimera and to Demon Eater to draw even more cards. Because something that you might not know about me is that I am actually a draw whore. You don't even know. And I usually try to put as much card draw into my deck as possible. And now this turn was painful to watch for me because my opponent misplayed. I think no. My opponent kind of like I don't know. He kind of like went like brain dead for a second. He needed to. Well, it's not so much that he went brain dead, so much as it was like he got like screwed over by the way Enhance works. Because as you'll see, he plays Aurelia here. Nukes. All right. He plays Aurelia here. Sends my sends my Demon Eater to Oblivion, and by just dealing a massive 7 damage with his support cannon into playing Geno, and then has Geno trade into my Cowie. Cowie then kills off his Aurelia, and he's suddenly without a board. I'm at full. He has no cards in hand, so that was pretty depressing to watch. Because his deck basically did nothing. Like I didn't do anything, but I had scaled him. Like he basically played his deck, got to do all the nice fun things his deck wanted to do, but it ultimately didn't matter just because I made sure to keep the Cowie alive, because keeping the Cowie alive meant it was gonna be a more of a nuisance for him. All right, so now we're gonna go to the last game. This game was also kind of weird, just because I don't know why, but I feel like every time I meet Blood in either unranked or ranked or whatever, and they're not Spawn Blood or Aggro Cat, they play the jankiest and weirdest fucking deck I've ever seen, as you'll see in this game. All right, so I full keep my hand because if he is Abyss Blood or if he is Aggro Cat, you need a 2-drop to try to contest Tove. I have the best combination of cards because I have 2 drop, 3 drop, and then also Lurching Corpse for a potential snipe later. All right, now here there's arguments to be made for both the play for either of the plays I'm going to make. I believe I play out Lyriel here because I value using a swing use because I value turning back an Evo on top of him because I'll generate enough shadows to do that. However, there's also merit in using Little Soul Squasher because of my Bone Chimera. I'm going to have additional pings, and I can use the Lyriel in order to bust up boards. However, I believe decide to go ahead and throw out the Lyriel just because he's going to Evo some stuff, and I know that for a fact. However, I don't know if I'll be able to get pings to do enough. So he plays the Vampire Kiss here. When he plays the Vampire Kiss, that automatically tells me that he's playing something weird and Mimi just because currently 90% of blood decks don't play that. And then here he has Razor Claw on my face. I'm just like, hello, friend? And here I don't play the Lurching Corpse. I did not play the Lurching Corpse because if I draw an activator like Demon Eater, I want to be able to activate it on a card that is either a throwaway token or is a or is a benefactor for my proc. So for example, in this case, I want to try to pair my Demon Eaters with either Skeletons, Lurching Corpse, Cowie, Attendant of Night. So I just go ahead and don't play anything. He then Razor Claws my 1/1, and I get really confused. But then he plays Hungering Horde after. So let's go and review here. In the last 3 turns, my opponent has used nothing but removal spells. So this tells me that he might be that weird version of Spawn Blood that like I say weird version because there are some versions that like don't play 2 drops so that way they can play Goblin Mage in order to fetch the spawn. And that deck only works in this current meta if you have removal spells in order to deal with opposing decks. So again, I don't play anything because all of my hand is useful and I need it to do certain things. He plays Demon Key, and this thus confirms my suspicions. I again don't play anything because I don't need to. He plays a Disagreeable Demon here, and then basically gives me one of the freest zombie parties of my life. And I'm also now threatening lethal. But he plays Bandersnatch. God, that's such a dumb name. And then again, the Bandersnatch is annoying because he could get because there's a lot of things he could get from that, and I have no idea what he's going to get. I'm expecting, judging by what happened to me yesterday, I'm expecting him to get something memey, like for example Azazel. However, if his deck is well built, what I'm expecting to want to come out is I'm expecting Spawn of the Abyss to come out. This turn, I'm gonna go ahead and put him into Vengeance, I believe, just because there's nothing he could do to me right now in Vengeance that would actually matter to me that much. Like he could play Emeralda and storm me, or he could play like Revelation for 4, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that. But I need to set up lethal, and this sets it up in a very, very good way. However, he gets a Lucifer from the Demon Key. I'm just like, what face? Hello? Question mark? And then he plays Diabolic Drain as well into Blood Wolf. So now he's triggered his Demon Key, which will be going off next turn, into Righteous Devil. So he's gonna heal for 8 this turn, and go back up to 17. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's frustrating. However, on the bright side, his hand is gone. His hand is absolutely just gone. And whereas I have a full hand and 10 shadows, so I can just go ham on him finally and start playing out my cards. All right, so this turn I did misplay. I needed to finally use finally use the little the little soul squasher that's in my hand to clear off his Devil of Vengeance, or not Devil of Vengeance. Sorry, my bad. Righteous Devil, and that would be really nice because my 2-drop would be able to solo his 4-drop and then also push for damage into his 8-drop with the courtesy of the Ektar. So you're gonna see me trade here by accident just because I made the trade because I actually forgot that I had a little soul squash in my hand, and and by making the trade that I did, I was generating more shadows for my Ektar for what so that way when it came down, it would get to do something pretty cool. However, another option, another consideration that there was for me this turn was to go Thane. The reason why I would go Thane is because I can go trade, or sorry, not trade. I can go I can go Thane, trade into Lucifer. He'll take 2 damage. I can play Soul Squasher, clear up Righteous Devil. Then I can Evo say Thane. Trade no, do I trade again? No, I don't trade again. I can then Evo the Immortal Thane and then trade into Lucifer and then clear that and then go face for 2. I'll present a very sticky board and let me save my Ektar for dealing with any problems that might emerge. However, I decided to go for the Ektar this turn just because I wasn't thinking about it too in depth, and I didn't really care because his hand was gone. The only thing they can play right now that'll be an annoyance is the Pika spawn. However, his demon key basically does nothing because it gives him out it gives him out Spiderweb Imp. So he basically like lost the taunt for free because he has to clear my board, and because he's played the Revelation, this gives me space to now play Thane, and I can be cheeky about it because I can also go ahead and go Thane, Demon Eater, the Immortal Thane himself, ping him for 2 damage, get a ward, and just be annoying with that because I'll get to keep drawing. Like his hand is gone, and yeah, and I draw into second Ektar, so he's in a very bad spot. The only thing that saves him right now is if he plays Bahamut. But if he plays Bahamut, I can go ahead and I can go, and if I'm really scared about it, I can go Necro Assassin, or sorry, not Necro Assassin. I can go Lyrial into Necro Assassin, blow it up, or I can go Cowie, and then yeah, haha, I heal for 13. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I know some of these games were kind of long, in the sense of like my narration overall, and and I just and but for Shadow, I feel like there's a lot to talk about just because not everyone plays it the same way not everyone plays it the same way I do, and and for a lot of those turns, I'm pretty sure a lot of you watching this video might have gone ahead and just thrown out your guys for tempo. However, for me, I like to play fairly greedy when I play, or not greedy, just like really conservative when I play. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and leave me your thoughts about Mid Shadow down in the comments below. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good deck? Do you think it's a bad deck? Why or why not? And how do you think it fits in the meta? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.